Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. The core chemistry, the descent of core chemistry from divine consciousness to the water to the human beings. Whenever we are in distress, in trouble, have a problem, we always look forward to the upstairs, the cosmos, Brahmand, Mahabrahmand, universal consciousness, you call by any name. You call it Swarga, you call it heaven, you call cosmos, you call it macrocosmic universe, is all we look up. Why do we look up? Because there is eternity, there is a harmony, there is a bliss, and there is everything which we look forward within ourselves. One thing which I have realized from my life, one statement which says Pindandam Brahmandam Ekam. That means all the human beings and the universe is identical. In this particular picture, you can see a human being on top with 10 centers of consciousness or 10.34419 centers of consciousness. They represent 10 plus stages of development, maturation to become a perfect human being. Same thing is represented in solar system as a 10 plus heavenly bodies starting from Sun to Mercury to Venus to Earth. Maybe you include Moon also in the process. Then you have Mars, you have asteroid belt, you have Jupiter, Saturn, and other planets. But same thing is represented in spiral galaxy when you have 10 suns plus in the sphere which is a part of the Milky Way. If you call spiral galaxy as a Brahmand, Milky Way and beyond as Mahabrahmand, you will see the same concentration everywhere. Now, in the light of this particular information, what I have perceived, let me explain to you in the process. My Dharma is the impeccable wisdom, perfect Akhandata to the core from A to Z. Once we understand that, everything becomes easy. We have to become perfect human being, non-violent, truthful, honest, with the intentions of being the perfect for everyone. My greatest discovery has been Devyang, the divine design of nature with which the perfect object of the entire universe are designed and created to the perfection. I have given different examples within the human body, within the solar system, and beyond that to prove that this is the only design, which is the first component of every perfect thing is 21, and for the first stage of development is the 22nd step. Then it goes to the 10 stages of development, whether it's anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, or psychology, and also the third stage of maturation is 0.34419. These are the three mathematical designs which lead to 1.618034, which is the perfect most approximate value of the divine golden ratio or Devyang ratio. In the light of that, I've been able to see the perfection, and that's what I'm trying to explain to A to Z to everyone. Once you understand Akhandata, once you understand Devyang, you understand entire mathematical design of the entire universe, and you can be in tune with divinity, you can be in tune with yourself and lead a perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise and happy life. And same graphic presentation of Devyank is represented in Akhand, and same representation is there as a symbol of integration. Everything which is there in the entire universe and physical body is represented in this particular chakra. I have explained to that over a period. Just a reminder, if Divyank is a mathematical design, Akhand is a symbolic representation which we need to know about the macrocosmic universe as well as microcosmic universe as well as miniature universe of human body itself. Now coming to the prime objectives of understanding core chemistry is to understand perfect objects of the human life. We all want to be perfectly physically healthy, free from all the physical diseases, no illness whatsoever, and have perfect emotional stability, have an abundance of material wealth and prosperity to take care of all the fundamental needs of the body. It need not be a greed. Then right education, knowledge, impeccable wisdom is absolutely essential. If Lakshmi is important, so is Saraswati important. And genuine respect all the religions is also important. We should learn to get the best from everyone, irrespective whosoever it is. We are human beings. Everyone has got something to share. And let's see the best which makes us perfect human being. Let's not forget about the perfection. And what is imperfect, let's not bother about it. As a result, you should have a social commitment to make a difference to entire society. Whatever I am today is only because of what I have got from Vedas, Upanishads, to all the science and every aspect throughout the world. And then I have picked and chosen the one which are perfect and representing only the core value, whether it is the human body, whether it is chemistry, physics, mathematics, and otherwise. As a result, I am trying my level best to lead a perfectly eternal, blissful, comfortable, immortal life for years to come. Now, we all know we are designed with a perfect object, but unfortunately, do we attain the objective which I spoke about it? But I'm sorry to say, even to find a disease-free life itself is people are finding difficult. Why? The simple reason is our ignorance, inertia. We don't have the kind of knowledge which is required. And I do accept with all the humility on the earth, the kind of knowledge we are giving to school, college, university throughout the world is totally on different things where there is no uniformity. Everybody is talking the way they want. It has become a man-made syllabus, changing from school to the college, university throughout the world, which has no consistency, there is no impeccable wisdom. That's a root cause for our ignorance, inertia, because we are confused, we do not know what to do. I am of the opinion, once you experience bliss, success, then success takes over. And for me, the success has been impeccable wisdom of human anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, psychology within the human body, mathematics, physics, chemistry on the external plane. And once I know the core value of everything, it has been much easier for me to lead a perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise, and happy life. So I look forward to the knowledge of impeccable wisdom to make a difference to myself and make a difference to everybody else. I also know Akhand Vidya, integrated knowledge, is a very gradual process. We start with the data, information, knowledge of the subject we don't even understand. Once we start understanding, we first understand the philosophy part of it. And that's why the first step of research is always PhD, Doctorate of Philosophy. And then we go to the next stage, a Doctorate of Science. Then you understand the relative world, independent relative worlds as such as they exist. But there is a Confucian relative world. We can understand absolute wisdom and we relate it much better. When we see of the relative world, we see length, breadth, and depth is that. The fourth state of relativity was time and space, which Einstein talked about it. And of course, Indians had spoken about it much more than that. But I'm of the opinion there are 10.344 dimensions which we need to know. Not 10 dimensions with Vishnu Avatar talks about it, not 11 dimensions which string theory talks about it. 10.34 is absolute wisdom, that is enlightenment, that is integration, that is Vivek, that is Akhand Vidya. In that light, we are going to see whole thing in the light. That's what I've been trying to explain. I am of the opinion before the creation of the universe, this was inert matter in the cosmos, primordial space, Akash. Whether you call it helium, you got it neon, or you got argon, but I know these three are more stable compared to krypton and xenon. They are not stable even in a lab. So we stick to this. But these three things have given me the core Atma, the core philosophy. Understanding that has made me understand. Right on top you can see argon with 18 electrons, 18 protons and 22 neutrons. I make it argon 40. Then neon 21, which has got 10 electrons, 10 protons and 11 neutrons, which is half of argon's 22. Then you have helium 4 with 2 protons, 2 neutrons and 2 electrons, which is our indwelling soul, which comes from the sun. And that all the three of them, all said and done, represent shunya, emptiness, the source of everything, and zero is from there. Everything has come from zero, all the 9 numbers from zero. When where we place zero in front of the number or after the number, they all the differences. But since they come from zero, numbers come out of zero. So infinity to 9 numbers is 1. But when 0 is added after the number, 1 becomes 10, 100, 1000. Same with 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900 and 1000 and thereafter. And that's the beauty of infinity. Before 0, from which everything has come, then 9 numbers have come, then 0 is added again, and then whole Srishti is understood. As a result, divine mathematics starts that way. Starts with a 0, emptiness, with which the creation was there, and after the creation, what happened? We have a divine mathematics, as simple as that. And once you understand divine mathematics from 0 to 9 numbers and then add 0 again and multiplication, you know infinity completely. That's it. And that particular knowledge is very well given in Adi Parashakti. Adi means first, Para is the absolute, Shakti is the knowledge. The absolute Shakti is Adi Parashakti, and in this picture, ancient picture, you can see 18 arms. That means talking about 18 electrons and 18 protons on one side. But then inside you can see 22 concepts. That is makes argon, and once you understand argon, you understand the Srishti, the beginning of it, from which it started, from which 22 appeared, 22 neutrons. That's one part. Same thing coming to the Gayatri, you have 5 heads, 10 arms and lotus. And you can see argon 40 leading to neon 21. That is another mathematical science which made a real difference, because our solar system in which we live has come from neon 21 only. So first part is 21 part, how it becomes 22, then how it goes to 10 stages, and how pi is added makes mathematical design very, very clear. Having understood that, I am able to answer all the questions which can be raised by anybody in the light of Akant and Devyank without any fault whatsoever. We are coming to the Devyank, we are coming to Akhandita, and that's the beauty of it. Now, third Antaratma is Aditi, which Ved talks about. Daksha's mother is Aditi, daughter is Aditi. No one has understood that, but I know very clearly. Same concept in Upanishad is spoken about. Aditi is a mother and daughter of Aditya, the sun god. Daksha, which was a king in Rigved, has become Surya for the Upanishads, much more clearer, because Upanishads are part of the Vedas. Vedas are abstract drishti, complete shruti of the universal consciousness, where the core is spoken about it. To understand core, we need to have descriptive thing, and that descriptive thing is much better in Upanishads. And stories thereafter, I will not go into it, because more we have got into relative world, the lot of issues have come up. Let's not talk. Let's stick to Ved and Upanishads, core value, and improvise with a Khandita which was not there in Ved and Upanishads. Even take it to the next stage, that is Devyank all about. Now come to Hiranyagarbha. The golden womb of divine nature from the entire universe has created. So now we are going back to the creation before the creation itself. And once we understand before the creation, it's easier to understand thereafter. Now, our Adi Parashakti, Argan 40, I've already spoken, from which Brahmand was made. But now let us stick to our Brahmand, our solar system, our spiral galaxy. That was formed for neon 21, which was dark matter. But of course, krypton, argon is also dark, neon is also dark, so is helium dark, unless until there is a charge. And they have a cubical structure because all the protons are centered inside. Focus is on the protons and nucleus and neutrons, and there is no light outside. But once they are charged and electrons start moving around and there is dynamism, then only we see the light. And that is beauty has been given by Maharishi Yajnavalkya as Mrityu. Now coming to the question, what was done during creation? As I told you, argon 21 plus argon 22 isomers collided together and formed the light effulgence. And the temperature was very, very high. When temperature was high, energy was good, and plasmatic state came up, quintessence came up, Akash Bhuta came up, the light, Prakash Matra came up. That was the beginning of creation, from darkness to light, tamas to roshni, antakar to roshni. And now with the time, that light slowed down and came through the five stages to form matter again. That is the transition from inert matter, dark matter, shunya before, then creation of light, from where 9 numbers came, then how further it has come, and Srishti has gone on. But at this particular juncture, let me also explain that before the creation, things were as it is. But after the creation, Lord Brahma, when he created, then he took rest for 1.5 years. And I see the beauty in zygote formation, where sperm and ovum get together, form zygote, and it takes 1.5 days rest, 36 hours rest, before multiplication or binary multiplication starts happening. 1 becoming 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and then tridimensional layer to the formation of the human body for 10 months, and first 22 months of one particular stage when soul can get in, then full development, and thereafter everything is pre-designed with Divyank alone. That's the most beautiful part. Now I'm going to make one statement from I3 Upanishads, which is there from Upanishads itself. And this Upanishad comes from Rig Veda. And it says very clearly, when world was created, soul, Atma, created three worlds. The first one is called Ambo, Ambas, the heaven, but it is also very closely related with water, which is 61.8334%. Then second stage is Marikar, the effulgence, the atmosphere, our Vayu element, Agni, Jal was there. Then comes the Maran, the solid earth elements, which is 38.19, and solid element of the earth is made of 7 parts, Antariksh is made of 7 parts, heaven is made of 7 parts, and these are the 21 parts which Chandogya Upanishad also talks about it. There are 21 parts of the solar system, and to go to beyond, you need to have a 22nd step. Same thing I've been saying, every cell is made of 3 parts, cell membrane, cytoplasm, and nucleus. And each of the 3 parts is made of 7 parts. Cell membrane is made of 7 parts. There are 7 organelles in the cytoplasm and 7 parts of the nucleus, which make it 22. And this primordial cell, a living cell, when it has to develop further, it becomes 22 part, by splitting a centrosome into two centrioles. That is again 22 by 21. That's the most beautiful part. If you are looking at the eye, the ratio is same 22 by 21. If you look at the brain, face and head brains, there are 22 bones, 21 are fixed, one is not. So this law is applied everywhere. And keeping that law in mind, I think Divyank becomes very relevant because you don't have to remember too much. Very less, but focused. And once you know the focus, other variety can easily be understood. And that is what I'm trying to show. Let's understand the core. Then dynamism will be understood. But without understanding core, dynamism will never be understood because it goes haywire if there is no base. And that base is impeccable wisdom. That base is Divyank. I'm trying to make it think very, very simple so that we create a new uniform syllabus for the entire universe in a perfect stage. Now, Hiranyagarbha is a womb, as you can see, is also the picture which I used. There was a fusion of inert matter from neon 21 to neon 22, the light, and the first form stage came Akash Bhuta, the plasmatic state of the matter, which is fifth state of the matter, or the subtlest state. And then it went through the 10 stages of dissolution or devolution or involution to become Akash Bhuta to what biological life is. And these things finally gave to the formation of different atoms, elements, molecules, and compounds and cells as we exist within our physical body. That transition has to be understood. If there is ascension, there is a descent. Once the complete picture is clear of 10.344, then things are very, very clear how we can proceed forward with the impeccable wisdom for each and every individual universally. Now, coming to the now, comparing it with the modern science, with the Akhand Sutra, Akhand Vidya, ancient Indian wisdom, and show why we need to take modern science to spiritual science, which was ancient Indian, and that too with Divyank and Akhandata. Modern science says that there are states is a matter: solid matter, liquid matter, and gaseous states. There are three simplified forms which they understand. I have no issues with that. But when it comes to the Panchabhutas, the five states of the matter which India talks about it, or 10 states talks about it, the subtle part is Akash Kosh, Akash Bhuta, a quintessence, ether, plasmatic state of matter, which is only energy, 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 and nothing other than that. It's an ionic form, very dynamic. That's the first stage. When temperature comes down, it becomes Vayu Bhuta, air element, which is called gases otherwise. But I'm happy that modern science also, as on today, understands Akash Bhuta as a plasmatic state of the matter, which is pure energy at 100, 1600 degrees centigrade temperature and conditions. You can't find the nucleus, but you can find the energy. And how it becomes Vayu. Then Agni, which is the fire element, which is slowed down, which I call it more like oxygen. There is no fire without oxygen. And I've given the experiment. Put a ball, put a candle, burn it, and put a glass over it. It will burn as long as there is oxygen. Very moment oxygen goes off, it disappears. So beginning, I bring it to oxygen. Vayu, we can have oxygen, hydrogen, all the gases. But when it comes to the water, it is HOH. It's a beautiful combination of hydrogen and oxygen in that form. When it comes to the Prithvi, it is ice, solid form. That is understood then very clear. Then you have five states which are interconvertible. Energy to the solid, solid to energy goes on, but everything has got two states. Very solid, very suksham. When put together 5 into 2 becomes 10. So that is the 10 stages which I am talking about. Now, ancient Indian wisdom always spoke of the gross and subtle matter, as I told you. And then you have the sense, which I have bhuta, then you have sense organ, and you have higher faculty. These are the five things which we need to understand all the five senses very clearly. Let's take the first stage, hearing, which is connected with Akash Bhuta Aksharas. And this is what is Shruti called. It is heard by ears, and the concept is called clairaudience. Shruti. That's one part as far as hearing is concerned. Then comes a touch, which is Vayu Bhuta, is associated with skin, sparsh, touch, otherwise. Third thing which comes to play a very important role is sight, which is Agni Bhuta, eyes, fire, and clairvoyance, Divya Drishti, is the third part. Then comes to the taste, which is associated with water, tongue, and it has got su taste, aswatis taste, and other tastes. Then come to the fifth one, which is smell, Prithvi Bhuta, connected with the nose, and also has a capacity to see fragrance. One that fragrance with Prithvi, smell, nose. And all these are the concepts which Sanatana Dharma, our ancient Indian books have spoken about it. So we'll take the modern science to much higher level of understanding in this form, then our clarity comes all the better. Now come to Akhand Yantra Vidya. As I told you, the whole thing started with dot, circle, and sphere. That was there before creation, and I would call that is zero. Maybe smallest dot is stage. Then, as it expands, it goes to circle, sphere, and goes on. But that is shunya, that is infinity. And from there, the 9 numbers have come out of this. I've already spoken about it. And then how one more zero is added after the numbers, then you see infinity number coming up one by one. Once we understand that, things are very, very clear. Now, from that infinity dot to expanded one came energy effulgence. But when it settled down, it got formed into Akash Bhuta, the first stage, which is I've created a structure for that, this. But Akash symbol is zero, or circle, or sphere by and large. But Akash Bhuta did not have the number because it was always associated with Akash. But I felt it is different from Akash. Akash is space, which has everything in an infinity form. But when come to the form stage, the first is Panchbhuta, quintessence. It has a pentagon. It has a power of 540, and each angle is 108. Once that is understood, I think things will be much more easier for us to understand how devolution of life came from top to the bottom. And that is what descent of core chemistry I'm talking about, descent of Shakti I'm talking about. Akash to effulgence to Akash Bhuta. From Akash Bhuta came the Vayu, and the structure is hexagon. And in the process, you can understand A to Z of this particular picture from this, and it has got 360 degrees. And I'm also glad to say Auguste Kekules saw the benzene ring as the starting of this and brought the structure of benzene to the world with 6 carbons. And that was seen as a snake in his eyes, snake mouth biting the tail. It's a beautiful intuition, lovely to be understood and appreciated. I can give him 100 marks out of 100 for that particular contribution, and I call him great Maha Rishi. Then comes the third stage when temperature comes down, it becomes a fire. And that has got 180 degrees, not 360, not 540. So from 540 to 360 to 180 is a transition. That is something which I want everybody to understand. Once you understand that, you know how the involution is, then you'll be able to understand how evolution or revolution would come up. From that, I can only say you take a solid, put a temperature, it liquids, becomes water. When put more temperature, it starts evaporating. It can scald, create burns, and things like that. And that is with oxygen, I have already explained. Is that involution from top and evolution from down is a middle path, and that is oxygen. Now comes to the fourth stage, which is water or apa or jal. It's a crescent, and all the structure in which the water is stored on the earth would have this particular structure, a crescent only. And it has got 360 degrees, and percentage of water is 61.8034%. And that is something which I've been saying from the day one. Once we understand that, we understand Srishti very, very clearly. Then comes to the question of Prithvi element, the fifth state, solid matter, Prithvi Bhuta, or Bhumi, and that is again a square. But we know Bhumi by and large, Bhugol was a red color. It should be spherical. But it cannot be, same symbol cannot be used. Though symbol was how it was converted into cube is a very interesting thing which I already spoken about it, but I'm just for a reminder, take a circle, put dot in the middle and convert it into four dots, then move it. You literally get a spherical structure in a cubic form and shows how intelligent are people to convert spherical form or circle form into cube and still show in a dynamic form 4, 8, 16, 34. As we go on increasing, you'll have more and more structure of a sphere or circle as such. Amazing thinking process of the ancient Indian sages. Now come to the question of Saransh. As I told you, creation was isomers are 21, then led to 22, the light and 5 stages. And whatever we see in the periodic table of atoms, elements, are the perfect representation of universal consciousness itself. There you have group of 7, not 6 and 8, and you have group of 7 periods and 18 groups as such, is again Adi Prashakti. Modern science is also talking of the picture which I have showed. Adi Prashakti has 18 arms and this is also 18 arms. And as every one part is made of 7 parts, you see 7 here too. Now the difference between ancient Indian wisdom and modern science is becoming closer. And once that is understood, that is the knowledge which we should give to every student from school, college to the university throughout the world. But I do know as an individual, the whole world has been talking and I'm single-handedly talking against. I'm not saying it's bad, but we need a perfection which impeccable wisdom can be given, and I'm starting and I'm sure we'll have almost entire world one day to understand and talk of this language for their benefit. Now, all these stages from isomers are 21 to 22, the effulgence to Akash Bhuta, the quintessence, how the 5 stages have come, and symbol the 5 stages I have repeated again. You can see pentagon to the hexagon to the triangle to the crescent to the square. And both energy and matter are interchangeable. And the best example is again water. In the solid form is an ice which cannot move. When you warm it up, it becomes liquid, it takes the shape which you want. But heat it further, it becomes scalding fire. When heat further, it becomes HOH or H2O or hydrogen oxygen. When you go further, it becomes energy, and that's it. So once we have that understanding of these particular 5 stages or 10 stages, we are very clear, close to the universal consciousness. And that is the kind of knowledge every student in every school, college, university to research should have it for uniformity and consistency. And this work is primarily designed only for that. Then all these things are found in the universe. Very clear. Vedas are talking about universal consciousness, Akash Kosh. Then everything came down. So gods and goddesses of Vedas, by and large, to the best of my understanding, are different atoms, elements, molecules, and other concepts of the divine nature, one and very clear. They appeared as in the god, so in the form of different gods and goddesses, they were there. Though Indra, the king of God, is the water and rain god, with which the entire universe has come down. So with thunder, lightning and rain, all the essential elements came down from the cosmos to the ocean. Biological life started in the warm saline water of the ocean. It was unicellular organism. Unicellular organism. Then all the requirement came from the sun, light, and water, and all the ingredients like glucose, water, sodium, chloride, and essentials, proteins, etc. came from sea. They were used by the cells, and all the expression were thrown back, and that is main. And then process of learning is called Sagar Manthan. But at one juncture, let me make it very clear. We have become multicellular organism, but our atmosphere, each cell, is same like unicellular organism when it grew for the first time ocean water, warm saline water of the ocean. Things have not changed. Extracellular fluid concentration is same thing which was there, will always be there because that is what nature is. And I want that kind of consistency with the people. Now, descent of divine Shakti came from top with a thunder, lightning, rain, water descent down. You can see the pictures, how it is coming from top to the earth is merging into water. So, purest form in water and all the ingredient as some came down, then came to the sun, and then churning of motion has given us the form of periodic table as we know of. Now, churning of primordial Sagar Manthan is the question of matter and the periodic table as such. And both gods and asuras, demons, decided to get Amrit with which they can live for hours together by churning out water with the help of Meru mountain and of course Vasuki, gods on one side and Asuras on the other side, and things came out. So it becomes a very beautiful periodic table representation how things have come one by one out of the ocean, and once we understand that, we can move on to much higher level of understanding thereafter. Now, as I told you, the periodic table is a representation of same what came from top down and down up, and now biological life started coming out of this. But in this particular table, I'm talking about atoms, element, molecules, compounds of the chemistry, fundamental chemistry on one side, basic chemistry of elemental chemistry, then organic chemistry, biological chemistry, etc. But points, atoms which play a very important role in that concept, you can say hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen, that's the first one which play a role. I would say hydrogen and oxygen first, and hydrogen and carbon first, or carbons and oxygen first, and when nitrogen comes, you come to the protein form. When phosphorus is added, you come to the nucleic acid. Then you have sulfur, chlorine, potassium, calcium, iron, iodine, and other essential gradients which play a very important role in the formation, creation, development, and maintenance of the human body as such, or all the organisms. That is something which I want everybody to have consistent. Don't be hodgepodge. There are 10 parts. Let understand all the 10 parts. Let explain all the 10 to every child and expect that he will be able in a position to reproduce the same knowledge for the benefit of everybody. Once that is done, I think our knowledge will be perfect, good for everybody. Now from that, now let's move on to the next stage. There is something called divinity. So hydrogen, carbon, oxygen as first trinity, which is important. And of course, helium-4 is Antaratma. That is something which I have understood. Okay, everything is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and thereafter. Then first greatest element is hydrogen, which is Aditya, the sun, and it is more abundance in the universe. And 75% ionic mass is made of hydrogen, and it's got one proton, one electron only. And it is a basic structure of divine nature, and it forms covalent compounds with almost all the non-metallic elements. Most hydrogens exist in molecular form. For example, water HOH, or you have carbon dioxide, you also have methane, you have so many things. We are going to talk about them one by one to understand how simple is the chemistry, how beautiful it is chemistry, how we can move on to much higher level from fundamental elementary chemistry, core chemistry itself. The second most thing is helium, which is there in Aditya as our dividing, and it is helium 2, 2 protons and 2 neutrons and 2 electrons. That is structure which I can easily call it Nirankar Nirgun Brahman or Sakar Sargun Brahman. And that is the indwelling. So realization of Aditi within our body can give us all the knowledge which we are looking forward to be in tune with universal consciousness. Inert matter, Atma, is the one which defines the core value. And if you are in tune with that, it will give you all the answers from within. Once we get that within, you can subscribe to the knowledge and understand same thing in the modern mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, and knowledge will be completely impeccable. The third greatest is oxygen. I've been telling you, Agni, fire element, is the third most abundant in the universe. Even our solar system, let me tell you, before life started, it was also consisting of 97% carbon dioxide only. But with the help of sun and photosynthesis, we have 21% oxygen today, which make the life very easy. And because of that, there is light, there is a fire, there is Agni, everything is in the process. That is something again which I want every student from school, college to the university throughout the world to have that kind of impeccable wisdom. That's one part. Now the fourth abundance is carbon, and this is absolutely essential for organic life. Biological life is not possible without carbon. That's it. But carbon is most important. Hydrogen and oxygen is what made carbohydrates, fats. When you put nitrogen, you get proteins. When you put phosphorus, you get nucleic acids. And that is the systematic science, step by step. If you understand, we can understand nature very clearly. Then you experience that within the body, and we'll have the knowledge which the world will have consistency in totality. You will have a blissful life thereafter. Now, the most important first molecule which was important to start was methane, that is CH4 is produced and it has got 10 protons. This again 10 stages were there in methane itself. 6 of carbon, 4 of hydrogen are 10 protons. That's the most beautiful part. Then comes the water, H2H. 2 of hydrogen, 8 of oxygen, put are again 10. So again we have come to the 10th stage. And both water and molecular form is very clear. And once that is understood, we can understand the divinity completely thereafter. Next product which is very, very important was carbon dioxide, which was there in the inner planets. Mercury has got it, Venus has got it, even Earth had it, Mars has it. 97% carbon dioxide. And it was essential for biological life. It is only Earth, which is a third planet from Sun, has managed to convert carbon dioxide into oxygen. And as a result, biological life is much more easier and convenient on Earth because it has that kind of presence of oxygen as 21 plus. And carbon dioxide has converted into this, and carbon dioxide has got 22 protons. Carbon 6, oxygen 16. 6 plus 16 is 22. And from there, carbohydrates and other things are also found. Is a beautiful knowledge which I'll be talking about as we proceed. This is only core descent chemistry, which is absolutely essential, is what I'm speaking about as on today. But coming to the last slide, entire information as such is embedded into this Once this is understood, you can understand Srishti completely, and that's the beauty. And I think that should be enough for the day. Thank you very much.